today. We're just going to get really comfortable, whether you're in a seated place or if you'd like to lie down, you're more than welcome to for this start. So it's going to be a really chilled out, deep, stretchy, moving inwards practice, just to give ourselves some time just to focus and relax. So letting your eyes close where you're most comfortable. If you need to pop a cushion, anything underneath your sit bones, block, or if you want to be seated in a different position, that's totally welcome. I just want to encourage you to find the most length through your back body, lifting the crown of the head to the sky. Really relax your shoulders. I'm not trying to force anything here. Let it be as natural as possible in your seated place. So if it feels like you're forcing your chest forward, just slightly soften there. We're going to stay here for a little while, so do make yourself comfortable. It's a really great way just to dive inwards and become a bit more aware of how everything's working and what everything's doing. So I invite you just to focus in on your breath, not necessarily changing it or expecting it to be moving in a certain way. It might almost feel like you're not even breathing, even though you are. It might be such a subtle breath that you find it quite hard to notice, and it makes you want to change it. Just resist that temptation and just be aware of what it's doing. And then start to notice if you can let your eyes stay closed, but just slightly soften the eyelids as they close over them. So maybe you've got them slightly tight and shut. Just relax into the closed eyes. Relax into your sit bones, through your pelvis and into your lower back. And very effortlessly, just begin to invite slightly deeper breaths in, and the softest and subtlest breath out. Almost like you're inviting more air in than you're letting go of. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just relaxing. Just keeping this breath flowing in and out. If at any point you want to slightly calm down that deep inhale, you can let it become a little bit more gentle, that's fine. But just now, when you exhale, bring your chin to your chest and gently round through your back. As you inhale, just begin to ever so slightly lift up through your heart space, open the chest. Just very slight movements. Just 2 more in each direction, just so the body doesn't get stiff or uncomfortable staying in that seated place for too long. So after that next inhale, just invite yourself to find the length from the crown of the head again, the vertebrae all stacking, softness into the shoulders. And then start to notice what your mind's focusing on. It might be one thing particularly that's maybe causing you a bit of anxiety or stress. It might be something that you're focusing on that brings you quite a lot of joy and happiness. There might be 100 million things whizzing around your mind. And there might also be very little or nothing. There's no right or wrong, just becoming aware. No expectations, no judgment, just being aware. And if there isn't much going on and there's just quite still and quite quiet, just take a moment to be grateful for that stillness that you've found. If there are lots of things going on, just gently and slowly become aware of one. Breathe out and let that one go as you come to the next one. can become quite repetitive because the same thought might keep reappearing. And that's fine, you just acknowledge it, breathe out, and let it go each time. So you may continue with that process as we continue to start to move through the body. So just using your next inhale just to reach the arms to the sky. Your exhale is just softly going to float them back to the floor. Just gently moving with your breath, just like this. Soft inhales to lift you up. Light exhales to float you back down. Let the hands plant completely down to the floor this time, just a little bit further out away from your lap. On your next inhale, reach one arm up to the sky. And as you exhale, just take it over to the side of the body. Pausing just there, open through your whole heart space. On an inhale, recenter. Plant the hand down on an exhale. Inhale the other arm to the sky. Exhale, take that stretch over to the other side. Inhale to recenter. Exhale to rest the hand down. Inhale the other arm up. Exhale, stretch it across. This inhale to the center. Exhale the hand to the floor. Inhale the other arm up. Last time, exhale over and across. Inhale the hands up. Exhale the hand to the mat. Bring the hands back into your lap, letting your eyes just close or wherever the hands would rather be. Come back to your breath. That deep inhale, that soft and gentle exhale. There are many types of yoga and this is just one of them. By just concentrating, being inwards, not necessarily worrying about the asana, the poses. This can sometimes be more powerful just to give yourself time for you to simply be. It's very easy to skip past stillness and meditation, any form of meditation like this, because sometimes it doesn't feel like you're actually doing anything physically moving, but this can sometimes feel more exhausting. It can feel like you've achieved more sometimes by just letting go of what's no longer needed, being aware of what your body and what your mind is asking for. So from here, we're going to spend just a few moments taking a few more deep breaths, and then we're going to come down onto our backs, just breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. When your next exhale comes, let that be your last breath. And then making your way down to lie down on your back. Feet just on the floor for a moment. And your whole back body just inviting it to rest down to the ground. So I'm going to move a little bit here by just hugging the right knee to the chest. Left leg can stay or it can fully extend. Just moving this into some quite deep stretches here. Hug this knee tight into your chest. Invite your breath to become a little bit deeper. Sink in through your whole back body. Any breath you're ready to, you're going to lengthen this right leg, loop the hands behind the thigh, pull those toes in towards you. Really relax the shoulders, the upper and the middle back. So here, if you have a skipping rope or a belt nearby, you can loop around that foot. Take the rope with your left hand or just take the hands behind the thigh and take yourself over towards the left side. As you do take that leg over, imagine this bum cheek staying quite flat down onto the floor. So you should find a slightly deeper and different stretch just there. Still stay with that breath. Maybe you take that leg a little bit further across, not letting that right bum cheek lift too much, that right hip still, imagining it's pushing towards the floor. Next, inhale, come back to the center. Hug this knee back into your chest. So we can keep the knee towards the chest, but the hands on the thigh. And then we're going to lift that right leg, just so the calf sort of lifts, but this right knee stays as tight in towards you as you can. Those right toes pulling tightly in towards you. Hug this knee towards your chest. Take your right hand to reach either for your ankle or the outside of this foot, and then hug this knee almost toward your armpit, so the thigh almost becomes parallel to the ceiling. You might want to bend the left knee just so it's a little bit less pressure into that hip opener, or you can stay just here. You might find a little bit of movement here with that right leg, or you might stay still. Breathing into that pose. Hug this knee back in towards your chest. Squeeze just there. And let that right foot place down. And then hug this left knee into your chest. So again, right leg can extend or stay where it is. Deep breaths, hugging tight. When you're ready, extend the leg to the sky, loop the hands behind the thigh. Pull those toes in towards you. Find your breath. So again, you can either hook your foot if you've got something, a piece of rope or a belt around to hook that foot. So you're going to take over towards the right side. So notice one side might feel a little bit tender compared to the other. My left side is normally tighter than my right, so it might not reach as far, that's fine. Again, imagine your left bum cheek staying quite firmly down to the floor. So gentle, almost twisting over towards that side, pausing, holding, relaxing into it. So I sometimes compare relaxing into a stretch that's slightly uncomfortable to trying to almost relax into a stressful situation, to let it play itself out, just not fight it, which I definitely am guilty of doing sometimes when you just have to let something take its course. Come back to the center. Hug this knee back into your chest. So again, keeping that knee hugged in, hands are going to go behind the calf on top of the thigh. And then you'll pull those left toes towards you like you're pulling the heel to the ceiling. Hugging that knee tightly in, but that leg just straight, or lower leg even, straight. Keep squeezing tightly in just here. So you take your left hand to either the ankle, the shin, or to that outside of the foot. Hug the knee towards your armpit, thigh parallel to the sky, the ceiling, foot up. And again, you might find just the tiniest micro movement here. You might find a little bit more movement than I am. Just depends how you're feeling. There's no right or wrong, just make sure it feels good, or just stretchy. We're going to hug this knee back into the chest, squeezing in. Perfect. And then bring that right one up to meet it. Hug everything in, maybe the feet hook over or just next to each other. So left foot onto the floor, right ankle's going to place over the top of it. Your figure four, loop the hands if they want behind the left thigh. Options to stay here. Options for the left foot to extend and pull those toes towards you. It might take away from that stretch because you're trying to get that right knee away. So just make sure you're focusing on right knee pulling away, pushing away from you. Really, really stretching that right glute out. Tiny rock, always welcome for your figure four. I find it just really extends and lengthens through that glute a tad more. Definitely improves the stretch for me. So see how it feels for you. Breathe into your body. Breathe into that stretch. You're more than welcome to stay here for longer. Just when you're ready to, feet back to the floor, pause for a moment to reset. Left foot to the right ankle, right knee even, you know what I mean. Loop the hands behind the right thigh, left knee pushing away from you. Options to lift up. Just remember what you're stretching, most importantly. Micro rock, encouraged. Breath essential. So again, any tightness or tenderness, soften into it. Allow it to be tender, allow it to be tight. Just work with it, give it the time to release and relax. So again, whenever you feel ready to, just letting the feet both come back down onto the mat. This time you're going to cross your right foot over your left knee, like you're sitting at the table, crossing your legs. Cactusing your arms as you take them out beside you so your elbows and your wrists are aligned. Drop the knees over to the left side to get that nice big twist through your back. If the legs do want to unhook, they're more than welcome to. You may take your left hand to your right knee. You might reach through those right fingertips a little bit more and just find more of an extended twist. Or you can stay in that cactus to open through your chest. And just a few deep breaths as you pause just there. In your own time, coming back to the centre, unhooking those feet as you find them just placed back on the mat. Taking the left foot to cross over the right, and then dropping the legs over to the right side. Adjusting as you need to become comfortable. Again, the hand can rest on the knees, and you can look to the left side, or keeping the arms cactused. Relaxing, breathing into your lower back. Whenever you feel ready to, just gently re-centering as the feet pull back down onto the floor. Hugging both the knees into the chest, just to give yourself a tight squeeze. Maybe draw your chin towards your chest and roll up with the forehead, just to find a really tight ball in, hugging in. Letting the feet place back down onto the mat. The arms rest out wide and the feet fall together. Knees just dropping heavy. And then keeping the arms wide just to create this open space for your heart. Ever so slightly, just sliding the feet away from the body, so keeping that diamond shape there, but just sort of elongating the shape. Pausing here, encouraging your lower back to soften. The inner thighs just to release, the hips to relax. Again, just finding yourself in stillness. Inviting you to relax and soften every single muscle in your body, especially in the face, in your neck and your shoulders. Through your chest space, into your hips. Letting the legs fully lengthen just when they're ready to. The arms to rest beside you. And your body to just fall heavy onto the mat. I'm going to leave you here to enjoy as much stillness as you desire. When you feel ready to move, just encourage yourself to stay there for a moment longer, whether it's another 10 seconds or another minute longer. We often find an urge and a need to move and to be doing things. And it is good when there's things to be done, but there's also really important to just stop and relax. Just take some time out. So inviting you to enjoy this time out with me, just lying here on your mat. Maybe you bring your focus to an inhale for 4, hold for 7, and breathe out for 8. Breathe in for 4, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. Breathe in for 4, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. Continuing like that if you wish, for 2 more rounds. And then letting the breath just dissipate and leave the body. Enjoying the relaxing sensations that start to flood through your whole soul, mind and body just here.